I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I promise to do my best to treat everyone fairly. I promise to do my best to be kind to everyone, even if they are not like me. If I see someone being hurt or bullied, I will tell a teacher. Everyone should be able to feel safe and happy in school. I want our school to be no place for hate.
Did you know?
Think of autism as two different gaming systems. For example, there's Nintendo and PlayStation, and they're both for games, but they have different operating systems on the inside. They're the same but different, right? And like the brain, you can't see those differences. They're on the inside, just like the operating system of the games. So let's pretend for a second that our brains are like those operating systems. And let's say people without autism have brains with the Nintendo operating system, and people with autism have brains with the PlayStation operating system. So what that means is when your brain receives information from the world, like someone talking or the lights in the room, people without autism, their brains process it with the Nintendo operating system. With someone who has autism, their brain takes all that same information and they process it with a PlayStation operating system. So people without autism process information one way, and people with autism process information a different way. It's not wrong and it's not bad, it's just different. And because they process things differently, they respond to things differently. And with autism, the brain can get overloaded. And when that happens, they sometimes need breaks or wiggle time or make noises, or sometimes need things like fidgets or headphones to give their brains time to catch up with their bodies. That's also why someone with autism may need more time to respond to your questions, or sometimes they don't speak but have other ways of telling you what they need. Some also like doing the same things over again every day because that's what makes them feel happy and safe. So if something changes, they can get really upset because that's how they're processing the situation. So just remember to be patient and kind. I hope you learned something about autism today. And remember that someone with autism likes to play and make friends just like anyone else.
Next week, we will be celebrating Military Student Week. There will be a day where you can wear purple and another day where you can wear red, white, and blue. And another day where you can wear something that reflects your favorite branch of the military. Also, military students will be invited to create a poster, and you'll get to bring it in and do a show and tell with your class. More information will be coming from Miss Flagging and the Military Connected Child team. All-Stars, stay tuned after the news for updates on March Mammal Madness.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
March Mammal Madness! Got a new mascot. Thanks to my pal Eli in 4th grade, one of my favorite mammals, a cat, is atop a human head. Meow. We have got some big updates today, and for that reason, I am not going to tell you who's out until after the recap. But let's just say Miss Fields and I watched it together and we gasped. It's crazy banana coconuts. But some things I should tell you before the recap are this. Before this elite trait recap, 12 All-Stars were out. 15 more of you are now out of the competition, which means a total of 27 All-Stars are no longer in the game. But that doesn't mean you can't play. Pick a new champion, cheer on someone else's bracket. Also, if you were a fan of the ginkgo or the fungus, I have now combined, because we know the fungus and the ginkgo tree are besties. So you have the benefit of surviving and you get both as your champion. Something crazy in today's bracket is that we have all number 1 and number 2 seeds except for Gelada, which is a number 8 seed. This is rare for an animal that's rated this low compared to the other stronger competitors. And on top of that, we no longer have home habitat advantage. Today kicks off random habitats, and boy, is it gonna mess with our champions. Also, a reminder, it's never too late to join in the fun. I just added Miss Baram's 4th grade class. We now have you on the brackets. So, without further ado, enjoy the recap, and I'll come back after.
It's that time of the year. We're talking about March Mammal Madness, and this is The Rundown. Bringing you all the highlights of the tournament, I am Lion, and I am joined by my co-host, Giraffe.
Great to be here, Lion! And it was an incredible night of elite trait action across all the divisions. And the elite trait round is when we get to the random habitats. Here to tell us more is great friend of the show, Octopus.
Greetings, landlubbers! Tonight, the better-seated combatants no longer have home habitat advantage, and instead will encounter each other in one of 4 possible random habitats. These are the temperate broadleaf forest, sea cave, geothermal wetlands, or sky islands. Sky islands are forested areas at high elevations that are surrounded by the seas of desert scrub ecosystems. The plants and animals of these ecosystems can be as isolated as islands surrounded by ocean. The different combatants of the elite trait may do better or worse in an encounter depending on which random habitat they draw. This could be one wild ride.
Exciting. Let's get into it. Tonight, the ginkgo and Rizzo face off against the alligator gar in the randomly selected habitat of Sky Islands, specifically the Santa Catalina Mountains of southern Arizona. Ginkgo and Rizzo, best friends, are magically translocated over a mile high to mixed conifer forest, where the soil depth is deepest.
But not deep enough for the vertical root system. Ginkgo needs to be stable. Roots crushed against the bedrock. The tree starts teetering. On the forest floor, alligator gar is flip-flopping around in the ponderosa pine needles, gills gasping uselessly. Wham! I'm yelling, timber! Ginkgo falls, crushing alligator gar. Alligator gar eliminated!
A fish out of water and a tree out of soil. Next up, Puma took on Addicks in the temperate broadleaf forest, specifically the 650,000-acre Cherokee National Forest, the largest tract of public land in Tennessee. Magically translocated to the shadows, Puma silently pads to perch on a rock next to Addicks, and leaps into a tree branch above the hooved mammal. Smelling the felled predator, Addicks panics, but in the thick forest gets horns and hooves caught in the foliage. Puma watches the Addicks struggle, and then falls asleep for a cat nap because Puma is still digesting yesterday's saiga. But the forest and the felled scent are too much, and Addicks flees the field of battle. Addicks eliminated.
Puma almost eliminated by the meat sweats.
Well, yes. Well, the scientific term is diet-induced thermogenesis.
On that note, we have another great friend of the show back to chat. Welcome, Boar!
Really? This guy again?
Ah, big kitty. Does someone need a nap?
Quite the opposite. Someone needs a snack.
Ixnay on doing that in front of the audience. Cut it out.
Tonight, Sun Bear and Gelada translocate to the geothermal wetlands, specifically the world's first national park, Yellowstone. Here, thousands of geothermal features, including hot springs, geysers, and mud pots. Both strangers in a strange land. Gelada and Sun Bear look at each other through the steam and the fumes and withdraw from any battling. Gelada heads towards the hillside, but the tropical Sun Bear steps towards warmer and warmer microclimates. The ground is warming his paws when his back foot breaks through the mineral crust into a boiling hot spring. Burning his claws and part of a paw, Sun Bear runs into a gulch.
And drops dead. Gas emissions from the underground geothermal activity have released carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide into the gully and quickly kill the ursid. Sun Bear eliminated. They don't call it Death Gully for nothing, folks. Always follow park guidance and stay on trails and boardwalks around geothermal activity.
Last battle of the night. After a recent encounter with a predatory orca, Narwhal swims close to the ice of the Barrow Strait in the high Arctic, as Polar Bear watches from the ice, still consuming yesterday's Cape Buffalo. R.I.P. herbivore. Polar Bear knows that a carcass in the paw is worth more than a swimming whale in the water when the orca chases Narwhal toward the Polar Bear, and magic translocates the Polar Bear and Narwhal to the geothermal wetlands. Specifically, the Tauranga geothermal system adjacent to the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand. Still fearful of the possibly lurking orca, Narwhal makes use of the shallow water where the warm spring waters flow into the lagoon. The Narwhal gets caught on a submerged, muddy sand flat. Narwhal is beached and vulnerable. Seeing the Narwhal stranded in the shallow pool, Polar Bear recalculates the odds of a successful hunt and moves in fast for a feast. After all, spring is the main gorging season of polar bears. Narwhal eliminated!
Polar Bear, Ginkgo and Rizzo, Puma, and Cinderella Gelada advance to the final roar next episode. Until next time, good night and good luck. Remember, in March Mammal Madness, if you're learning, you're winning.
Yeah. Yeah, March Mammal Madness, it's going down. 65 species from all around. Thorough's deer, polar bear, taking the crown. Addax and ginkgo, they're battle bound. If you're learning, you're winning. What? Species battling, no one spinning. Home habitat's the first round spin, but traits take over when the league begins. Zorilla, flying snake, they're coming through. Moon rat and fern got something to prove. Tree of life, they're fighting for the throne. Who's gonna make this tournament their own?
First 3 rounds, home field's your friend. But elite trade, final roar, that's where legends send.
Number 1 seeds might fall today. Unexpected champs gonna have their species battling, no one spinning. Survival skills put to the test. March Mammal Madness, who's the best? 65 and up, but only one stays. March Mammal Madness, scientific ways. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you as stunned as me, All-Stars? The smallest upset was the Addicts. 17 All-Stars lost a champion.
Bye-bye.
The next largest was the Narwhal. 30 All-Stars lost a champion.
Bye-bye.
But one of the biggest was the Alligator Gar. 73 All-Stars lost a champion. And I cannot believe the tree and the fungus beat the Alligator Gar.
What?
But the biggest upset of the day was Sun Bear. 83 All-Stars lost a champion, and number 8 Gelada is still going?
I'm confused, very confused.
It's March. Well, not anymore. It's mammals, except for the tree and the fungus. But for sure, it's madness. Let's look at the brackets.
It sound right, boys. Sound right, boys.